Welcome back to Anointed Encouragement, the place where heaven's whispers become clarity for your heart, where faith grows stronger, hope rises higher, and divine messages bring peace into your life today. Before we begin, take a moment right now to like this video, subscribe to Anointed Encouragement, and comment, "I am ready" below, because your engagement helps this message reach someone who may be praying for the same confirmation you are receiving today. And together we build a community guided by God, Jesus, and angelic encouragement every single day. If you have been feeling confused, wondering why someone special suddenly became quiet, distant, or emotionally silent, then this message is not random. This is your confirmation moment. Because heaven often speaks through silence before breakthrough arrives, today's message is powerful, deep, and spiritually revealing. Your soulmate is silent for a powerful reason. Are you ready? Many people assume silence means rejection, loss, or emotional withdrawal, but spiritually, silence can mean preparation, healing, alignment, and divine timing working behind the scenes. Because God does not rush sacred connections. He prepares them carefully, patiently, and perfectly. Right now, angels want you to understand something important. Your soulmate's silence is not emptiness. It is transformation, not distance, but divine processing, not abandonment, but preparation directed by heaven itself. Stay until the end because this message will reveal why communication paused, what God is doing in your soulmate's heart, and how your response during this quiet season determines the future of your connection. Now take a deep breath, open your heart, and allow this message to reach you exactly where you are today. There are moments in life when God allows quiet seasons because noise would interrupt spiritual growth. And what feels like absence is often divine protection working quietly. Your soulmate's silence may feel heavy to you. You may replay conversations, wonder what changed, or question whether feelings disappeared, but heaven says something deeper is happening beneath the surface. God sometimes separates voices so he can speak directly to the heart without distraction. Because when two people are meant to walk together, both must first learn to walk with God individually. Silence becomes sacred when God is rebuilding identity, healing wounds, and reshaping intentions. Your soulmate is not ignoring destiny, they are being prepared for it. Angels reveal that emotional silence often happens when a person realizes the depth of a connection but feels unready to carry its responsibility yet. And instead of damaging something holy through confusion, heaven allows distance so maturity can grow, you see. Divine love is different from ordinary attraction. Divine love awakens fears, exposes insecurities, and challenges past patterns. Because real love requires transformation. Your soulmate may currently be facing inner battles you cannot see, confronting past heartbreak, releasing emotional baggage, or learning lessons necessary for lasting commitment. The silence is not punishment toward you, it is preparation within them. The Bible reminds us that God works powerfully during waiting seasons, even when nothing appears to move outwardly. Psalm 46:10. Be still, and know that I am God. Stillness is not inactivity. Stillness is alignment. God teaches hearts through stillness because quiet moments remove distractions and reveal truth. Right now, your soulmate may be hearing truths about themselves they never faced before. Understanding what love truly means, or recognizing the value of the connection they nearly misunderstood. And while they process internally, Angels are also working around you, strengthening your patience, deepening your faith, and teaching emotional stability that will sustain future union. Because a relationship blessed by God requires two healed hearts, not two dependent ones. You may wonder why communication stopped instead of growing stronger. But heaven says growth sometimes looks like separation before unity. Just as seeds must remain hidden underground before becoming visible life, spiritual relationships often enter hidden seasons before manifestation. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. This silence is a season, not a conclusion. Angels want you to stop interpreting silence through fear and begin understanding it through faith. Because fear says something is ending, but faith says something is forming. Your soulmate's heart is being refined, their intentions purified, and their readiness strengthened. And during this time, God is also asking you an important question. Are you ready for the love you have been praying for? Because readiness is not only emotional desire, readiness is spiritual stability, patience, forgiveness, and trust in divine timing. Many people pray for love, but are not prepared for the responsibility that comes with answered prayers. Heaven prepares both people separately so that when reunion happens, it becomes peaceful instead of chaotic, mature instead of fragile, guided instead of forced. You may notice signs during this period: sudden memories, dreams, emotional waves, or moments where you strongly feel their presence despite physical silence. These are spiritual reminders that connection still exists beyond communication. Angels often maintain energetic connection while physical interaction pauses, allowing hearts to remain aligned without interference. Jesus often withdrew into solitude before important moments in his mission, demonstrating that silence precedes revelation. Luke 5:16. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Withdrawal was preparation, not avoidance in the same way. Your soulmate may be withdrawing spiritually to gain clarity, courage, and understanding before stepping forward again. This is why forcing communication now could interrupt divine timing. Because growth cannot be rushed without weakening its foundation. Instead of chasing answers, heaven invites you to grow stronger in faith, confidence, and self-worth. Your peace during silence becomes proof of spiritual maturity. Angels say this is the moment to trust God's unseen work, because miracles often begin quietly before becoming undeniable. And while you wait, transformation is happening on both sides, shaping a future conversation that will carry honesty, depth, and emotional readiness unlike before. The silence you experience today may become the reason your future relationship survives tomorrow. So do not interpret quietness as loss. Interpret it as divine restructuring guided by heaven's wisdom. Your soulmate is not absent from destiny. They are being aligned with it. And God is preparing you simultaneously so that when voices reconnect, hearts will finally understand each other fully right now. While communication feels paused and answers seem distant, something profound is unfolding inside your soulmate's heart. And heaven wants you to understand that realization often happens quietly before it becomes visible. Your soulmate is beginning to recognize emotions they once misunderstood, feelings they may have tried to ignore, suppress, or rationalize logically. Yet God is now bringing those emotions into clarity. Sometimes a person must step back to truly see what stood in front of them all along, because familiarity can hide value until absence reveals importance. Angels reveal that your absence from their daily emotional routine has created reflection. And reflection creates awareness. They are remembering conversations, moments of kindness, emotional safety they felt with you, and the peace your presence brought into their life. What once felt ordinary now feels rare to them. This realization is not sudden emotion but spiritual awakening, because God allows distance to reveal truth without distraction. Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Your soulmate is learning to guard their heart wisely, understanding that real love is not excitement alone but commitment, patience, and emotional responsibility. They may currently be confronting fears that previously controlled their decisions: fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, fear of repeating past pain, or fear of not being enough. Angels say silence becomes necessary when a person must face themselves honestly. Before divine union can happen, illusions must fall away. Your soulmate is recognizing patterns they carried from past relationships, habits that prevented emotional openness, and wounds they never fully healed. God is gently exposing these areas not to shame them, but to transform them. Because the love prepared for you both cannot survive old emotional patterns. Transformation often looks like confusion from the outside, but internally it is reconstruction. You may notice that even without communication, you feel emotionally connected at unexpected moments. Sudden peace, unexplained longing, or strong intuition that something is changing. This happens because spiritual bonds remain active even when physical communication pauses. Angels continue working between hearts, aligning emotional timing so reunion happens with understanding rather than misunderstanding. Isaiah 30:18. The Lord longs to be gracious to you. Therefore he will rise up to show you compassion. God's compassion is working in both lives simultaneously, teaching patience to you while teaching courage to your soulmate. They are learning what it means to choose love intentionally rather than accidentally. Previously, they may have approached connection casually or cautiously, unsure whether to trust their feelings. But now the silence is forcing clarity without distraction. They are realizing how deeply you impacted their emotional world. Sometimes people understand love fully only when they experience life without its presence. Angels say your soulmate is beginning to miss not only you, but the version of themselves they became around you. Calmer, kinder, more authentic. That realization is powerful because true love reflects identity rather than changing it artificially. God designed certain connections to awaken purpose, not just romance. Your soulmate may also be receiving divine nudges through dreams, memories, or unexpected reminders connected to you. Because heaven communicates through subtle signs when hearts are ready to listen. They may suddenly feel conviction about past decisions, wishing they had expressed feelings more openly or handled situations differently. This is not regret meant to cause pain, but awareness meant to inspire growth. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. Your soulmate is entering a renewal process, leaving behind emotional immaturity and stepping toward intentional love. And while this transformation happens, angels ask you to remain spiritually steady. Do not allow doubt to rewrite the meaning of silence. Your peace becomes part of the divine process, because anxiety creates resistance while trust creates alignment. God is teaching you emotional independence so your future relationship stands on strength instead of fear. You are learning to trust God first, rather than relying solely on human reassurance. This lesson is essential because relationships guided by faith survive challenges more easily. Angels emphasize that timing matters deeply in divine connections. If reunion happened before this realization, misunderstandings could repeat, emotional walls could remain, and growth would be incomplete. But now, step by step, heaven is preparing a stronger foundation. Your soulmate is beginning to understand commitment differently. Not as limitation, but as blessing. Not as pressure, but as purpose. They are recognizing that love aligned with God brings peace rather than chaos, stability rather than confusion, and this understanding changes everything. You may soon notice subtle shifts, small signs of emotional openness returning, indirect communication, renewed curiosity, or unexpected reconnection opportunities. These changes will not feel rushed because they will come from inner certainty rather than temporary emotion. Angels say when they return, their energy will feel calmer, clearer, and more intentional, because silence has refined their heart. Meanwhile, heaven invites you to focus on personal growth, spiritual connection, and emotional healing. Because preparation is happening for you as well. The stronger you become individually, the healthier your union becomes collectively. Remember, God never wastes waiting seasons. Every quiet moment carries purpose, even when you cannot yet see the outcome. Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Even silence is working for good. Your story is still unfolding, and angels are guiding both paths toward alignment that honors God's timing perfectly. There is a deeper spiritual layer behind this silence that many people never recognize, because what appears like emotional distance is actually divine preparation happening beneath the surface. Angels reveal that before two souls can unite in a lasting covenant, God often separates them temporarily so individual destinies can mature. This separation is not rejection but refinement. Your soulmate is currently being guided through lessons that could not be learned while leaning emotionally on you. God sometimes removes comfort temporarily so growth becomes unavoidable. Just as gold must pass through fire to remove impurities, hearts must pass through solitude to remove fear, pride, and confusion. Your soulmate is confronting truths about themselves they previously avoided. Patterns of avoidance, emotional hesitation, or uncertainty about commitment. Heaven is not punishing them but strengthening them. James 1-4. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Maturity is the goal of this season, not distance itself. Angels say your soulmate is learning responsibility for love, understanding that real partnership requires emotional presence, honesty, and spiritual leadership. They are beginning to see love as a sacred assignment rather than a temporary feeling during this quiet period. God is also protecting your heart from premature attachment to an incomplete version of the relationship. If reunion had happened earlier, unresolved wounds might have caused misunderstanding, jealousy, or emotional imbalance. Now heaven is aligning emotional readiness so the connection can grow without repeating past struggles. You may feel moments where you sense their energy strongly, sudden memories, emotional waves, or unexpected peace when thinking about them. These moments are spiritual confirmations that the connection has not been broken, only refined. Angels communicate that spiritual bonds created under God's guidance cannot be destroyed by temporary silence. Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. This is a season of preparation, not conclusion. Your soulmate is also being guided to recognize your value more deeply. Sometimes familiarity causes people to overlook blessings until distance reveals their importance. Without daily communication, they are realizing the emotional safety, encouragement, and authenticity you brought into their life. They are beginning to compare temporary connections or distractions with the genuine peace they experienced with you. And that comparison is awakening clarity. Angels say clarity always precedes commitment. They are asking themselves serious questions about future direction, purpose, and who truly aligns with their heart and faith. God is helping them see beyond surface attraction toward spiritual compatibility. This realization transforms how they view you. You are no longer seen only through emotion but through destiny. Meanwhile, heaven is also working within you, strengthening patience and faith, teaching you not to depend on visible reassurance but on divine promises. Faith grows strongest when evidence feels absent. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Your calm trust during this silence becomes a spiritual signal that you are ready for a deeper level of love. Angels emphasize that both hearts must reach emotional equilibrium before reunion occurs. If one person grows while the other remains unchanged, imbalance forms, but God is ensuring simultaneous transformation. Your soulmate may currently feel internal conflict, drawn toward you emotionally, yet still processing personal fears. This tension is part of awakening, because true decisions emerge only after internal struggle resolves. They are learning courage to express feelings openly, courage to choose commitment, courage to step into a future guided by faith rather than fear. Angels whisper that their silence is not empty but filled with prayerful reflection. Even if they do not fully realize they are being guided spiritually, God often works quietly inside hearts before actions become visible externally. You may soon notice subtle spiritual confirmations, repeated signs, meaningful coincidences, or renewed emotional peace. These are reminders that divine timing is active. Your role right now is not to chase answers, but to cultivate peace, trust, and spiritual alignment. When you release control, heaven gains room to orchestrate events perfectly. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness invites divine movement. Angels encourage you to focus on personal purpose, growth, and joy during this waiting season, because fulfillment attracts alignment naturally. When reunion happens, it will not feel forced or uncertain. It will feel peaceful, clear, and divinely timed. Your soulmate will return not with confusion, but with understanding. Not with hesitation, but with intention. The silence you experienced will suddenly make sense, revealing itself as preparation rather than loss. Heaven is writing a story that requires patience before revelation. There is a moment in every divinely guided love story when silence reaches its purpose and transformation begins to reveal itself openly. Angels say you are approaching that moment now. What once felt confusing will soon become clear. What once felt distant will soon move closer. And what once felt uncertain will begin to feel guided and intentional. Your soulmate's silence has been preparing both hearts for a sacred shift directed by God Himself. Heaven never allows waiting without purpose, and every quiet day you experienced has been building toward a powerful turning point. Right now, spiritual alignment is taking place behind the scenes. God is arranging conversations, emotional courage, and circumstances that will naturally bring reconnection without force or pressure. Your soulmate is beginning to feel an undeniable inner pull toward you again, a spiritual remembrance that cannot be ignored. This pull is not driven by loneliness but by clarity. They are realizing that peace follows thoughts of you, and that realization is awakening action inside their heart. Angels reveal that the silence is ending because understanding has finally replaced confusion. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. God is straightening paths that once seemed blocked. You may soon notice small signs first, a message appearing unexpectedly, their name coming up repeatedly, dreams becoming more vivid, or a sudden emotional calm replacing anxiety. These are spiritual signals that movement has begun. Heaven often restores connection gently rather than dramatically, allowing hearts to reconnect naturally instead of emotionally overwhelming them when communication resumes. It may feel surprisingly peaceful, as if no time was lost, because spiritual bonds do not weaken through divine separation. Your soulmate will speak from a place of deeper honesty. They may express feelings they previously struggled to articulate, revealing fears they faced and lessons they learned during the silence. Angels say this honesty is proof of growth. Real love becomes stronger after reflection because it is no longer based only on emotion but on conscious choice. Song of Solomon 3-4. I have found the one whom my soul loves. This scripture reflects recognition, the moment when certainty replaces doubt. Your soulmate is moving toward that recognition now. God is also preparing you to receive this reconnection with wisdom rather than emotional urgency. You are being guided to listen carefully, respond gently, and allow trust to rebuild step by step. Divine relationships grow through patience, understanding, and forgiveness. Angels encourage you not to revisit past misunderstandings with accusation, but with compassion. Because both of you were learning during separation, the reunion will mark not a return to the past, but the beginning of a new spiritual chapter. This chapter carries stronger communication, deeper emotional safety, and shared spiritual direction. You may notice that conversations feel more meaningful, decisions feel clearer, and emotional security feels stronger than before. That is because God has aligned timing with readiness. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Partnership under divine guidance creates strength rather than dependency. Angels say your soulmate is being prepared not just to love you but to support your purpose, encourage your faith, and walk beside you spiritually. This connection is meant to uplift both lives, not drain them, as reunion approaches. Heaven asks you to release fear completely. Fear belongs to uncertainty. But God operates through assurance. You are not losing love. You are stepping into a refined version of it. The silence was the soil, and now growth begins to emerge visibly. Soon you will understand why delays were necessary, why patience was required, and why God asked you to trust even when answers were hidden. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Everything has been working together for good, even moments that felt confusing or painful. Angels want you to prepare your heart with gratitude instead of doubt, because gratitude aligns you with incoming blessings. Speak peace over your future, welcome healing, and remain open to love arriving in a renewed form. The next phase of your journey carries emotional clarity, spiritual partnership, and divine confirmation. Your soulmate's silence was never abandonment. It was preparation guided by heaven. And now, as this message reaches its conclusion, angels remind you that encouragement and faith grow stronger when shared together as a community of believers. If this message touched your heart, take a moment right now to like this video, because your support helps spread hope and encouragement to others who are waiting for divine answers. Share your thoughts in the comments and declare your faith journey, because speaking your belief invites spiritual alignment into your life. Subscribe to Anointed Encouragement and turn on notifications so you never miss daily angel messages filled with guidance, peace, and inspiration sent to strengthen your walk with God. Share this message with someone who may be feeling uncertain today, because one word of encouragement can become someone's answered prayer. Remember, God is guiding your love story, Jesus is protecting your heart, and angels are walking beside you even in silence. Your season of understanding is beginning now, and what God is bringing together will arrive at the perfect time with peace, purpose, and lasting love. Stay faithful, stay hopeful, and stay encouraged, because heaven is still writing your story.